Good question to start things off. This is always a tricky one. I was actually just upstairs deciding if I should record these or if I should hang out with my son for 10 minutes. So, that's a constant battle in terms of managing your business and your time with your family. So careful. The best example I could probably use is like having a child. You can never really be ready for it, but you just have to dive in and do your best at it. I mean, it's an emotional roller coaster. You go from one meeting and it's great news and the next meeting it's bad news, but you have to be able to stabilize yourself. And I really like this question. It comes down to who do you want to be, right? Do you want to be the owner of a big business or a small business? And I think there's no shame in either way. At the end of the day, the goal is to make profit, and that can happen with one employee making a lot. It ultimately depends what you mean by results. I mean, some people might say that if you're still in operation on day 2, you are seeing results, right? But I think ultimately, if your client base is growing and people are happy, you're on the right track. I mean, a lot of the challenges that used to exist for online businesses don't really anymore because there's a whole set of tools and ecosystems that help enable online businesses to thrive. I would say probably in the past, it would be probably finance, most likely, and even operations. There's usually 3 factors at play here: knowledge, skills, and attitude. I'm going to link to a video where I talk about this. But I think the best way for people to reach their potential is for them to understand their potential, and they need to come to that realization on their own through your question. There have been plenty. But I think one that kind of stands out is I had a client that actually took me to Las Vegas, and we ended up being there for a trade show, but got an amazing opportunity to network and have a great time. Ideally, when you're presenting on a topic where you have core foundational skills and knowledge on, so that you can speak from the heart and it comes across naturally. But either way, you'll want to do your research, prepare, understand your audience, and check out the room beforehand. Well, many don't know this, but we actually used to have an office. It was downtown. And we realized that everything we do is remote anyways. Our clients are all over North America. Our team's all over the place. So, we decided, this was well before COVID, let's just go remote and go from there. The formula is simple. The value needs to outweigh how much the client's being charged. Quality comes into it, how much you're doing in terms of the scope of work. But if you continue to deliver value that outweighs how much they're paying for it, clients are going to continue to work with you. I think it's important to have some kind of meaning or context. I know nowadays a lot of times like the logo or the brand doesn't really have anything to do with the business. For Ad Puzzle, it's the fact that marketing is like a puzzle trying to solve. CDIO, obviously that's me, so I mean that's one. Every company does this a bit differently. For me, it's all about your ethics and values, your passion, your excitement and hunger for the business, and for being a part of a team. Certainly the hard skills are important too, like do you know your stuff? I like managers who work. For a long time, I didn't take a vacation, and then when I would take my vacation, I would have my laptop with me so I could handle anything. And then eventually you reach a certain stage where there's a very few amount of things that the team can't handle without you. Yes, definitely. I mean, if you're watching this, you probably already know that. If you're a business owner who doesn't have a social media presence, you're probably not seeing this anyways. You're not benefiting from it. So absolutely, if you're running a business in 2021, you need to have a strong social media presence. To be honest, it probably wouldn't take long for you to figure out that you don't like your company. So I can't imagine that someone who doesn't like their company having much success to begin with. So likely you'll continue to be a small company.